Chad Prather rose to internet fandom as the man who's unapologetically Southern.
Heath Oaks is a published author who failed his way to success.
Together, they tackle today's headlines in a way only a Southern Spitfire and a millennial mogul can.
Take off your sport coat, grab a beer, and enjoy the conversation.
This is Second Shot with Chad Prather and Heath Oaks.
Now, if you were lucky enough to be watching on YouTube, you get to see one of the most beautiful women in the world that just so happens to be my wife sitting next to me. How are you, honey?
You're making their expectations too great. But hi, everybody. Hi, babe.
Yeah, no, there's definitely always brightens it up. And like Brighton,
Aww.
Oh, our daughter.
Yeah.
I see what you did there.
No, get to have my lovely wife in today to co-host a segment with us. So, see all the knowledge that she can drop on us. What's up, Zach?
Oh, the same old, Heath. How are you? Came in looking snazzy as always.
Just another day in paradise.
Something I think is worth noting here.
Huh.
Jenny beat you to the office.
Yes.
By just a few minutes. Is that
Yes.
a regular thing?
Never. In fact, I told Zach when I got here, I said, so let's not tell Heath that I was actually about 3 minutes late because I was about to text you and I thought by the off chance that he's for once in his life running late, then I would be the on time half of us, which is irregular. So I was kind of excited about it.
You're always the better looking half, so
Thanks,
always get
babe.
that one. So you always get a win. I'm excited about today's episode, though. This will be fun. I get to get a little bit of both of us, and I think we got a really interesting first little headline up here, Zach.
We do. Travis Johnson, a football player for FSU, or an ex-football player for FSU, said, "This team is playing for likes and retweets." And here's what he meant. He was on another podcast, the Big Three Roll-Up Show, shameless plug, and somebody asked him what they think of kind of kids playing nowadays, because he's not playing anymore. He's retired. And he said, I don't think they're doing that well, and I don't blame the coaches. It's the culture. These kids They don't know their why. They don't know why they're out there doing it. They don't have a good reason why. When I was a kid, when I was out there playing ball, I thought to myself, I want to be a legend. I want people to cheer my name in the stands. I want people to know me, and I want to inspire others. And
you wanted to be rich.
Oh, of course. Yeah, you did say that as well.
There's
yeah.
that.
But he said kids today, they're playing for social media. They're playing for likes and retweets, and that's all it's about.
And not being legendary.
And I thought
that was like a really a key part whenever he said, and then, it's unfathomable to me that these kids don't want to put their hand in the dirt and whoop the man across from them. And in football, that is something that is, you kind of learn about it. Now, before we get into this, I do need to start saying that what we do at Second Shot is, we don't really care about the headline itself. We take a headline and we feel like how we can take a second shot at that into our business and or / personal life and really try to bring any types of tidbits that we can that maybe from our knowledge. And we also, on the third segment, we will take any kind of listener emails or questions or anything. So secondshotcast@gmail.com, secondshotcast@gmail.com. Send us anything you want. We'll take a look and review with it. But yeah, I thought this was interesting, playing for the likes and retweets and there's the why in it. There's there's so much to this.
So that's a common complaint about the up-and-coming generation, I think, in general. But when I see this, I work in news and have for about 15 years. And so people always, they want to get their stuff out there on TV, right? They want to pitch a story. They say, I've got this business. I want to how can I get my business on TV? I've got this new whatever. And it's like, okay, well, you have to buy advertise. If you're looking for a free ad, you got to buy an ad. But if you have a story to tell, something you're trying to help people with, well, then that's, noteworthy, newsworthy, worthy of our viewers' attention. So it's sort of like that's the really old school version of what people are doing now, because with regard to the likes and retweets, news is kind of like the old school version of that. And so I tell people, okay, you've got this new salon, say, for example, and I want to be on. Okay, well, then how can you help people?
Yes.
Why did you get into this salon? What is it that, do you have a passion for, I'll go new moms, because that's me helping them figure out their morning routine and how do I get this hairstyle done faster and in a more efficient way. Okay, well, then maybe that's your passion. That's what you can teach people about. But if you're just saying it's all about me and my business and how I make money and how I get people to come to my place, that doesn't, nobody cares, and you're not going to be successful ultimately because you're thinking more about you as opposed to who you want to help with your business.
And I think that's the thing is the playing for likes and retweets. I think that's the biggest kicker to me, because today's generation, you got people that go, oh, I want to be famous. And so now everybody can be famous so easily, right? They
Right.
think, oh, I'll post something. And all these people will go try to start doing something like, oh, how do I drive more likes to my page? And, you got to, they're coming, we got to be careful with our kids and everybody with that, because they're passing up what the most important part is, like what you just said. What's the why that you want to do something? You did a story one time on a family in the Metroplex that these young girls are 17, 18 now are making tons of money on YouTube. They've got a YouTube channel. Like the mom and dad are like, dad's the CEO now of it. Like it's
Cute girls'
huge.
hairstyles for
Huge.
people who,
They did
familiar
not
with them.
start that YouTube channel with a how many subscribers can we get and how much can we do. They liked the ability of showing how they could do hairstyles and all that, and it somehow turned into this massive business.
because they truly wanted to help people. They really did. They were like, oh, wow, you want to know how to do that? Let me make you a quick video.
Yes.
And so people felt the authenticity. They felt wow, this woman wants to help me and wants to help my kids, and let's do it. And now, now they review products, and they do. They've got
They make tons
they
and tons
are
of money.
very wealthy.
But their
young
goal
ladies.
and objective when they started out was not to make this big business.
Yeah.
It was these girls were like, how old were they when they started?
Well, the mom was a young mom, and they have several kids now. The girls are now, I think, 16 or 17.
So they were like 11 or 12 when this all
Yeah.
started. And so they didn't shoot. Their why was to help other people with the hair. The kids would go to school, and the other moms were asking the mom, how do you do that with their hair? Oh, I'll shoot videos and just so y'all can watch it. The why was a legit inspiring why. Why it is important to have a why that outlikes all of that, because you can never determine the outcome of people liking you and retweeting you. You can determine the outcome of whatever content you put out. You can't determine that other aspect of it. So what your why, if you have something that's more powerful, that is an inner drive to do it, like I just wanted to help these moms out, right?
Yeah.
You're going to endure it all.
Well, yeah, I mean, and when you go home at the end of the day, like, you don't curl up with a like or a retweet.
Yes.
You don't, that does not bring love and fulfillment and a sense of, dignity. It doesn't bring that fulfillment. So it's like, if you're truly living out your passion, people will follow you naturally.
Yep.
They want to see what it's all about.
Don't you think, too, though, because you talk about a lot, you'll have a lot of young interns that'll come in and wanting to get into news.
My goodness.
And you'll sit down and talk with a lot of them and say, look, there's nothing glamorous about this. You, for your first 8-9 years, are going to make next to nothing. You are going to be in live trucks pumping for your new baby whenever you are. This is not this big, like you think it's this world glamorous thing. So if you think that if you were getting into this because you want to be kind of famous, you're never going to make it. You'll never endure it.
Yeah.
And you said that a lot of people you started with have never made it but yours was journalist. You loved the journalism, and you've endured it because your why was much more than what the fame and glamour was.
Right. So my why is to tell important stories, to hopefully tell inspiring stories, and to give compassion when we're telling the hard ones. But yeah, I mean, it's not a glamorous job. And for the record, no problem with wanting a glamorous job. Like,
Yep.
Be a model, be an actress, be an Insta star. I love it. Like, much love to everybody in that realm, in that environment. But sometimes, yeah, people will kind of go the news path of it, and you're
Thinking
going to
that is
burn out.
glamorous.
Yeah, you're going to burn out just because, you're going to have to carry your camera. You're going to have to sit out at a scene for 10 hours with no restroom and no food. And, you're not going to get zero thanks. You're going to get, beat up on a lot for what you look like, what you sound like, what, you're doing and not doing. But if you really do have a passion for telling those stories and you love it and you get satisfaction out of that, then again, you go home and you curl up with that.
And there's ways to find why and everything, but
Absolutely.
you can't sit there and continue to go for something that you can't control your outcome on. And the only way that you endure the tough times and the stuff that goes backwards and forwards and all of the trials and tribulations is an inner why that has so much more depth to it than just the facade and the wrapping, so to say.
Yeah, it's it's lonely. That is lonely, to be kind of barking up a tree where there's nothing at the end except for other people's affection for you.
Yep. So I'm going to tell you, you've got to find your why. Simon Sinek has a great book on Start With the Why that I definitely recommend on this part. And I would say that if you're not feeling fulfilled right now, if you've got those struggles, you've got to search inner for your why. What do you do? What is the why? And everything else, I always say, money will always follow, but it never leads. Money never leads. Don't ever target in leading with money. Start with your why, and money will follow. I can promise you that. We'll be right back for the second segment of Second Shot.
He likes cowboy hats and boots.
And he's a suit and tie kind of guy. Chad Prather and Heath Oaks host more of Second Shot coming up on RNCN.
Ready, aim, fire. Second Shot is back for another round on the Real News Communications Network.
But this is going to be the really funny part because Zach wants to crack a joke to thinking I was going to make a joke like the old dad joke, And I was thinking, about there's that commercial where it's like how you're turning old whenever it's like, look, I'm not leaving the front door open, air conditioning the whole world when those people are like in therapy because they're like becoming their parents and stuff.
Oh, yes.
I'm not there yet.
No.
Not there yet.
Let me explain. During the break, Jenny whipped out her Instagram story, and you said, "Hey, Heath, you're on my Instagram story. Say hello to everybody." And you were like, "Hey." I figured for sure you'd just say hello to everybody.
That would
would have been the dad joke response.
That would be that dad joke response. I'm not quite at that moment yet.
No, not yet.
Not 5 months in, I'm still trying to figure this thing out.
It's a slippery slope, Heath Oaks, or so I've heard. Yeah.
It is. Sure. No, definitely. I just haven't quite gotten it hammered out yet.
No. Well, someday. A man can dream.
Yes.
All right. So for our second segment, we've got this article. ClassPass founder on success. She said, "You can't accomplish anything without a team." So let me explain. ClassPass is a company that put together the app Bumble and also Bumble Biz, which is a new thing. For business. But the woman who put it together made this app. It's kind of like Tinder, but it's supposed to be very female-oriented. Women kind of make the final decision on whether or not they talk to another person.
No, they have to make the first move. Yeah, they have to make the first move.
Right, yeah. I think a guy can swipe right, but they can't message them. Only women can message guys. I'm not really sure how it works. But when she was asked about kind of how she brought all this together, because you went from this very small company to a company with over 200 people, she said very simply, "You can't accomplish anything without a team. I seek to inspire my team by giving them free rein to shine. I want them to feel empowered, to challenge themselves, and grow." Now, the question here is, when you've got a team of that size, and this is something I've wondered from Heath for a while, so I can't wait to hear what you got to say. When you've got a team that size, at some point you got to wonder when you make a hire, is this a good move? Is this person really in line with kind of what I want? Or maybe this is bad. When you get that many cooks in the kitchen, there's certainly potential for something to go wrong. So for her, she's saying go for it anyway. What do you think, Heath?
And that's what it goes back to, though, is it is relying on that team, though, Zach, because with that many, I'll hire somewhere close to 400 people in my organization.
Which is huge.
This year. And maybe I have sat in front of 10 myself. So, but it goes back to relying on trusting the team. I've got the leader.
Who's hiring these people? It's a free-for-all over here.
Yeah.
The leaders are all in place that I have spent time with, and I trust, and they own and know what it is. It's honestly easier when you have a 200-person organization of hiring the right talent than it is when you got 5 people. It's 10 times easier.
Really?
Yep.
That seems counterintuitive. Why is that?
Because you actually got something that people can believe in and see that people want to be a part of, and you've got a culture, so you're attracting that type of person. Yeah. Versus when you're 4 or 5, you're trying to get anybody and everybody to just believe in what you're trying to do and that you're not going to fold tomorrow. So you got to shift through a lot more of that, the bad to get to the good. When you're there and it's made, and it's like my territory, for instance, right now, we have a phenomenal culture. We have the right leadership in the right places and things are rolling. We are attracting the right talent. When I started out at 19 years old and I was recruiting people 100% commission, meeting them in hotel lobbies because I couldn't afford an office, that was not easy to get people to believe in me.
Right.
Okay? It is now when I'm sitting in an 18th floor corner office of this expensive office building to make people believe that we got something going on. It's much easier now.
But wouldn't you think if you've got a team with 200 people, somebody could sign on and go, well, everything will be fine here. I could call in sick tomorrow and the company would still roll. When you've got a team of 5 or 6 people, don't you find those people with that drive, with that aspiration, go, I want it just as bad as you do. I want to be a part of this.
You should have. It should be easier to find those at 200 people if you've got all the right people in place. Because when you start out, you're finding the right people and you develop the right leaders, and it all trickles down. It all starts and ends with the leadership. So if you hire the right people and you have the right culture starting at the top, it trickles down, and it's 10 times. And people talk about that cliche of that team. You can't do anything with team. Everybody knows, you need a team, right? But some of those people will say that as just words, but then they don't live it. They don't really turn it over to the team.
Yeah, it's funny because he's involved in several different businesses, and so we're always kind of having this discussion about why this business does well, why that business perhaps doesn't. And there is a business in town that we both know about that Heath has commented on before, saying this thing could be huge, but the owner won't give up control.
Yep.
Right. So, and to me, I kind of see the owner's perspective too, because this person has their baby, it's running really well, they're very involved, and I think isn't it that person's personal touch that keeps it going well? And Heath says, absolutely not. She needs to find some people who to put in place so it can blow up. Mm-hmm. And so I wonder if there's that control element sometimes that just holds people back from expanding. And not that not everybody wants to have their business blow up. A lot of people, small businesses are awesome too.
Yep. No, it's the control and it's the insecurities. See, leaders that don't hire everybody's, I'm a leader and I'm hiring these people, but they'll never give the control over because they have insecurities that they don't know what they don't know, right? So you can't have insecurities. If you're somebody that's not hiring people and letting them do their deal, that's because you have insecurities yourself that you got to get secure in. Because when I go out and search and hire people that are better than me, you consistently do that. You got to be secure in what you're doing and how you're doing it and how it's rolling. And in the end, it all works out. So you can't have those insecurities. Too many people these days have insecurities and or that control freakness where, they've got a great talent. Maybe there's that person that created that's a great developer, created that app, and it's going really well. They have to have enough self-awareness to go, but I'm not good at running the business. I need to hire a CEO. I need to do something to run the business, and I just need to be head of the technology development. That's what I'm good at. That's what I love. But they're too insecure to let somebody else come in and do something because they don't want to give up their control. But then they'll say, I'm all about my people and team, but you're still trying to have your hand in it all.
Well, in this generation, too, this generation and perhaps the generation ahead of Heath and I, too, loves to be enriched at work, right? So, like that satisfaction of, I really did put my hand in this. I didn't just show up, do my job, and leave. And so sometimes there's a manager where it's like, no, I want you to just get here, show up, do your job, and leave. And these people, I think sometimes are empty.
Yep.
And they're like, where is the satisfaction?
They're doing nothing to fulfill them.
Right. So I wonder sometimes if maybe, okay, so say you don't have to pay somebody more, but perhaps you give them some ownership over the product, and then they've got like some skin in the game, truly.
Yep.
And then they can grow. I don't know if you'd ever dealt with that, Zach, like working, in media and stuff like that, because sometimes it's, these big companies and so you come in creative, like fresh out of college, ready to go, ready to innovate and make a difference. And you're met with like this brick wall of, no, we just need you to edit that and leave.
Yeah. You very efficiently described why I'm not in terrestrial radio anymore. That's exactly what that is. It's this feeling like, come on, I want to be a part of something and do something great and kind of spread my wings and fly. And it's this attitude of, that's not how we do it here. And if you're not going to play by the rules, you shouldn't be here. And it's like, come on, you should be rewarding innovation and encouraging that creativity. Think outside the box. Who knows what might happen?
The problem is that people, majority of people are not leaders. Majority of people are truly not people builders. Okay, they either were a great plumber and had connections and started a plumbing company, okay, but they're not a leader, right?
Yeah.
Or I use that as an example because that's, or a great engineer or a great whatever and started an engineer or whatever it is, but they're not the people. People have to be self-aware to know when they need to be in their home spot and hire somebody to find a people person to really lead. We talked to, we know somebody that has asked me before that has this really big company, okay, and they're very successful. But they're like, look, here's what I don't understand. I pay my people really well, do all these things, got all this stuff. You hire 100% commission, and you have a lot more people, and you keep people more than me. How in the heck does that happen?
What are they doing wrong?
It's very simple. They're not letting the people part of the process. They're not. See, I go in every day thinking about my people. My customers and clients are all of the people that work with me. That's it, plain and simple. That person's going in thinking about being the best plumber or the best whatever. Mm-hmm. And that's what you got to think about a part of your business, that if the part of your business you're worrying about is the technical aspect every day of thinking about it, when really the most important thing is the people. The people.
Well, so it's also about learning what that person's goal is. So say you hire somebody and they say,
100%.
Heath, I want to be you. I want to be the territory sales manager in my home state of Texas. And some people, as Heath, would be like, hey, man, that's my job. You mean
Yep.
you want my job? Whereas take a bigger step and think, you know what? I want you to be me too.
Yep.
Instead of being worried about someone overtaking you, how about mentoring them, leading them? You're going to get the absolute best work out of them for those years while they're working to become you and hopefully even surpass you.
Well,
and so it's like
you know
ego.
what's funny
Like
that
you got to let
happens?
the ego go. Like, hey man, he makes more money than me. He's more, whatever.
But what's funny about that is what happens is, and this has actually happened, right? With me is, by doing that, when they make you look that good,
Yeah.
I've got people promoted that basically in my role because Colonial made a brand new role to have me in the role, to have the other person there because they didn't want to lose me or them, and created stuff. Like, you don't know what will come. But because of the people and the people developing and focusing on that is the most massive part about what you do and cannot do. You have to be going in, or you have to have somebody coming in every day thinking about the people. Because you can get, like you said,
Like, what are their goals? Where do they want to be?
what did they want to be? Because here's what a lot of people do is they think that what people want is exactly what they want, which is not true. So a lot of people go, well, I pay them good. Well, I gave them a gift card to so-and-so. That's what they do.
What do you mean, Jenny? You don't want to work weekend mornings forever? I gave you a honey baked ham.
Yeah, exactly. Well, then they go, well, I pay them more than the other, and I keep losing them to that other deal. So look, it's obviously not about the money, so stop thinking it is. When's the last time you said, hey, 4 or 5 of my top people come in. I want to create a project to do this. I want y'all's input. What do y'all want? Somebody take ownership. Purely asking some simple things to get them involved in the building process make a massive difference. I fully believe that I don't care what kind of company it is, kind of business it is, that if I went and sat down with somebody in any type of business, any type of industry, within half a day of talking with them and talking to some people, I could come back with 3 or 4 simple, very easy things that could completely change that business and how they grow and keep people.
It's a problem in media.
It's a problem in every business.
Let's have.
It really is.
Media.
The end of this. The end. Let's end it here.
Yeah, right.
We're going to come back to the third segment. We got a couple cool little emails we want to hit on.
Now that's what I call ignorance on fire. More of Second Shot with Chad and Heath still to come. Kick off your boots or suit up. The choice is yours. Welcome back to Second Shot with Chad and Heath on RNCN.
This is one of my favorite parts of the whole show, is always getting to get the listener emails and reading through them all. And if you remember a couple episodes back, we had Oliver on there, and we talked about some of the bad name stuff, and then we also talked about a little saying that he had. But we got an email from Deidre. Okay, so Deidre sent us an email. Said, hey, y'all, I've been listening to podcasts since. I hardly miss a week. Definitely left a review. And after the last segment of the bad names, I just had to email what I found. Heath, I hope you share this with your co-host from the episode. Made a little laugh. I have the name problem, she said. My name is pronounced Deidre, but I usually get everything but that because I've given up, and I love to answer more because her name is spelled D-E-I-D-R-A, okay? And she said, some of my close friends call me D, have other nicknames, but I prefer my full name. And she said one of the worst spellings of the name it came across. She's going on about how it's spelled. It's pretty funny. But side note, thank you both for your wisdom. But Heath and his book has really been such a help for me.
Oh,
I
that's
just
awesome.
recently became an insurance agent in Missouri. And so much of your business, sharing ideas, thoughts, life lessons, drive to really help me, the agency, lead
Go
sales,
Deidre.
etc.
Yeah.
That's
Thanks so much for all you
awesome.
do, and I pray the whole team gets continued for the time. So thank you, Deidre. I appreciate that so much. And she also put down here, we talked about in that last one, Oliver said, knowledge is knowing that a tomato is a fruit, but wisdom is not putting it on a fruit salad, right? And she put a little meme down here that says, she found a meme that finishes that saying, and
I
it
love
says,
this.
knowledge is knowing a tomato is a fruit. Wisdom is not putting it in a fruit salad. Philosophy is wondering if that means ketchup is a smoothie.
That's cute.
I thought that was
fantastic.
I love how
hilarious.
you're connecting with your listeners so much.
I
I mean,
love
it is. You guys must feel good about we talked about job satisfaction, right? Like coming in here in the middle of your day, doing this, and it's really is helping people. So
I love it.
Very cool.
I love it tremendously, and Deidre, I'm glad to see that things are going well for you in the insurance world. It's a tough gig, and appreciate your email and the time that you spent to send that on in.
Yeah, not to discount anything else I do, but like I know every show says we have the best fans, but like really, I work on other podcasts. None of them are like as glowing as your fans
That's
are.
awesome.
Yeah, they're all super nice. Yeah, they're all happy to be a part of the show, and we love having them.
And remember, guys, secondshotcast@gmail.com. Questions, comments, just letters, or headlines that you would like to see our take on, whatever it is, secondshotcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, we'll talk about anything. And speaking of anything,
Didn't you have something you said I retweeted?
I
you want a
did. Yeah,
question
you
on?
retweeted this today, and I wanted to talk about it. I think Jenny actually retweeted it as well, so I figured
love it.
this is perfect to bring up. A guy named Ray Lewis, he retweeted him. He said, pay close attention to people who don't clap when you win. And here's my thing, because I want you to help me see the light. I'm not saying this is
first
bad.
of all,
Yeah,
the
go
funny
ahead.
thing is, Zach, is that you go a guy named Ray Lewis that shows how much you know nothing about football.
He has 2 Super Bowl rings.
Yeah,
Right.
well, Ray Lewis is literally one of the greatest of all time, and I love it. And that's what I love about you, Zach, is that is so awesome, funny, because Ray Lewis is honestly one of the most revered football players of all time.
A
He's
lot
one
of
of the-
people are clapping for him.
He's one of those Lewises I hope we're related. He's got the blue check mark. I know he's verified. I'm a simple man. What can I say? I don't follow Ray Lewis. I follow you, Heath.
Yeah,
And you
there you
retweeted
go.
him, and that's where it
Exactly.
came from.
Yeah.
I figured he was a fan.
That is
Anyway,
hilarious.
yeah, he said pay close attention to people who don't clap when you win. Here's my thing. Wouldn't you think whenever you win, you should celebrate it? You know, you've done it. You've accomplished victory. I wouldn't think you should be looking around the room at the people who aren't clapping. You should be looking at the people who are celebrating you and your accomplishments and sharing that with you. You know, that's a sincere moment. And I do think it's important to note the people who aren't, because that's something. Yeah, like that's definitely worth looking at, but I don't know. I'm conflicted about it.
But so what you're saying is don't put all your energy into drowning those people out, as more so put your energy into the people who are surrounding you with love and with claps.
I guess, yeah. I guess to me, it's like I primarily, yeah, you should enjoy it. A win is a win, you know. You should respect it for what it is, and you should also note the people who aren't celebrating it with you. But
So
I have
what
to,
do
say,
you-
I have
yeah,
to
what do
say,
you
Zach,
think?
that's really good. Like that's actually, I was
Yeah,
sitting there,
I
I
mean,
was
I don't
like,
know.
I couldn't wait to tear you apart on trying to do that. But
Stop it. He is not clapping.
But
No.
I can't deny the fact that I could argue that point
Yeah.
that you just gave as much as I could the other. What were you about to say?
Well, I mean, just take that same quote and reverse it a little bit. I mean, you maybe perhaps to improve what the great Ray Lewis has said
Great Ray
would
Lewis.
be to just pay attention to the people who, have your back, to the people who are clapping for you, as opposed to saying, pay attention to the people who don't. I mean, either way, the point is surround yourself by people who think that you rock.
Yeah.
I mean, we can, it's really, all of that stuff has to come internally. But if you're consistently surrounded by people who are competing with you and or being a frenemy, fake nice, all that kind of stuff, it can chip away at you.
Yeah.
So you have to every once in a while evaluate perhaps business relationships, but also, friendships and the people you surround yourself by. And like, okay, is this an advantageous relationship? Does this person, you will kind of notice, hey, wow, I had like a lot of big moments and I didn't hear from that person.
But you know what's interesting? There's something that my wife has said that is said it early on in our relationship, and it has made a massive impact on the way I think about a lot of things. She said at one time, when somebody shows you who they are, believe them. I have never forgotten that, and that sticks in a massive way, because think about this. How many times do people show us who they are, but we don't believe them?
It's
How
tough.
many times does somebody do like somebody sit in front of you talking about somebody else, and you're seeing how they are, but yet you just don't believe that they would do that to you, right?
Of course.
Like there's so many times. So, and I think that when he's talking about it, there's the people that aren't clapping for you. What he's saying is paying attention to that, or the people that you would have thought would have clapped for you. See, that's the thing is what it's not that you win and you say, oh, I'm going to look for the people who are down on me.
Yeah.
You win and you just have you've got to be aware of your surroundings more. Too many people are blindly into things. It's not that you harness them. It's not that you focus on them. You just have to have an awareness of everything. That there's a lot of people that are, oh man, yeah, you're doing great. I want you to, yeah, you kill it. They're all saying it because they really don't believe you can. And then when you do it, where are they at? What are they doing? Are they really? They're like, crap. Now he's better than me, or she's better than me, or they're that. And now you hear about them talking around about that you didn't really get that on your own or whatever. And what he's saying, don't put all your trust in those people. You got to just know who you're dealing with. I always say, It's not about judging them but when you know where you got somebody that you stand with somebody, then you know the barriers to put up. It's not that you have to isolate them from your life. You just know there's certain things that you say and do around some people that you don't do around the others. So it's important that, because everybody's going to be cheering for you. Everybody was cheering for me when I'm 19 and I had no idea what I was doing, okay? Because it didn't look like there's a chance in God's green earth that I would make anything of myself. But when that happens, then who's still around clapping? Who's actually happy for that? But you know what I mean?
Yeah. So, and that one came from my mom. My mom would always instill that in us, just to have that awareness, and it's funny because the business that I work in is, could perhaps be seen as competitive, catty, shallow, sort of like that image of people scraping their way to the top. But by and large, I am immune to that because I've surrounded myself by mentors, women, friends in this industry, people who we all cheer for each other, and so a lot of times people say, gosh, man, that's gotta be a tough business. And yeah, it is, but I'm not paying attention to the people who are not clapping for me. Like some of my closest girlfriends are from all the different news markets that I've worked in. Some are still in the business, some are not. But I know that these are women who, first of all, started in that business because of a passion, not to be competitive. And second of all, they're people that they know me, they know my heart, they care about me, and they know that I
but you have paid attention to the ones that aren't clapping for you, and you have your boundaries up.
And I don't. Yeah, we don't hang. We're not. Opening up to each other at the end of the day. Business relationships, you have to keep them. You have to be connected to people who you know.
But just because you don't hang with, don't mean you have to and see what you do is it does, and I do as well. Just because I don't hang with them and I know the parts of them that would not be a part of my life, doesn't mean I attack them, and doesn't mean I'm not cordial when I see them, and it's not fake that I'm not. I know the people. I have my boundaries for people, and I know the people. You have to have a self-awareness enough to know what boundaries you should have with which people. If you have a friend you're sitting there with always telling you to gossip with everybody, you better be careful what you tell that person. They're showing you who they are. Mm-hmm. Believe them. Don't tell them all your inner secrets and then expect them not to say it to you, but they do it with all the 10 people you hear. We do it all the time. You have to be self-aware enough to know those boundaries. So it's, the keep your friends close, your enemies closer type thing. You just got to know. Yeah.
If I am filling in for Chad right now, he would call you out on enmity.
Yes, he would. But it is. It's not that you're searching for those ones with it, but you do have to pay attention to know the boundaries that you put up. And look, there's people I got boundaries up that I still will clap for when they win. I don't have there's the people that go the route that they want to see people lose. I don't care who they are. I want them to win. I want them to win well. I just hope it's all right. But I'm not going to invest my time to caring about it. I'm not going to. I don't check to see where they are on any level. I worry about me and my team.
Right. You're able to respect somebody else's moment in the sun.
Absolutely.
As much as yours. Yeah. When you win, take a second and enjoy it. Yeah, yeah.
Look, here's what's funny. Jenny one time, in our, I always joke about I'm obsessed with drug lords and all that stuff.
Oh my gosh.
I love watching I love watching the Narcos and the El Chapo stuff. Yeah. I'm just intrigued by them and how they do it. It's so funny. And I was telling her one time, I was like, hey, I want to be El Chapo. I'm going to be El Chapo one day. And I was laughing about it.
He's like, can you please introduce me to more of your relatives in Mexico? Honey, this is very suspect.
And then the next day, there was stuff going on. And I won Territory of the Year. And one of my close friends that I helped in the business, it came to him losing to me and coming in second. And Jenny was like, Heath, you literally are over there pouting, you're about to cry because you're upset that you beat your friend. There's no way you could be El Chapo.
Exactly. You just don't have it in you.
I don't have it in me with that. And
because he was, man, he's had such a good year and he's done this and he's, developed this part of his team and man, they've, really come around and Heath really wanted it for him. And I'm like, yeah, no.
And we swooped in at the end and did it. It was he really thought he had it and it was right at the last. So I felt really bad for him. But that thing is I believe that there's enough room for everybody to win. You have to believe that no matter who it is and where it is and what it is. I would help an Allstate guy across the street help them sell better if they will or want to. I don't care. I know there's enough for everybody. You have to take that mentality, but you need to pay attention to who you're letting in your circle and who is clapping for you when you actually do win. That you have to have that awareness because you got to be able to put the boundaries up.
I think this Ray Lewis character has earned a retweet from me. I think I'll,
Now,
I'll
here's the
throw
thing.
him one. How about that?
Hey, the next episode.
He's also a New York Times bestseller, if that
Yeah.
helps you
Is
to
he?
give him some credibility.
Oh,
yeah.
right. Yeah, well.
We're gonna on the next episode. It's gonna be a shorter kind of, but I got a really cool nugget I'm giving on the next episode. So make sure you download that on next Friday. But where can we find you at, hon?
Oh, on Facebook, Jenny Anchondo. Instagram, my favorite social media of all, Jenny Anchondo, Jenny A. Fox 4 on Twitter, and my website, jennyanchondo.com.
And secondshotcast@gmail.com. Any questions, concerns, emails, anything you think of, send us our way. And Ed Heath Oaks and Ignorance on Fire. Look me up. Love you guys, and hope you're gonna have get really full next Thursday and eat all the turkey ham you
yes.
can.
Yes, get after it.
You're listening to RNCN, the digital destination for premium talk radio.